Diana Kirby blogs about life's fundamental connections at Sharing Nature's Garden. And that's what her garden is all about, sharing. Homegrown vegetables for her husband Jeff Eller and their children. Plants that support wildlife. And outdoor living where family and friends of all ages can find a spot just right for them.
My first memories of gardening are probably when I was in first grade and my mother had a vegetable garden in Colorado, and I remember picking rhubarb straight out of the garden and eating it just like that, sour as it was, and thinking that was just the greatest thing. My dad is a gardener and has a beautiful yard, and I guess that's always influenced me.
A master gardener, Diana is always experimenting to find the best plants for her clay soil and to outwit the front yard's deer.
When we moved into this house, the front yard was landscaped, and there was the pool and the cabana, but the backyard was scrub brush and stumps and rocks. And so that was my first project, was to take on putting in a yard for our daughter and doing some landscaping back here.
Although she removed most of the existing plants, she kept the palm trees around the pool. In their borders, Diana selects no-fuss, no-muss plants, since the windy side would send fragile flowers straight into the pool.
Back here around the pool, I think it needs a tropical sort of feel.
Along with diversity and texture, Diana wants color. But she takes it easy and chooses her points of focus with intention, since these rooms are for winding down. Since Diana doesn't want to waste an inch of potential garden, she filled a raised bed behind the pool with color, fragrance, and wildlife sponsors. Beyond the patio, she wrangled scrub brush to extend the family's activity areas.
I wanted to soften the space. We have, with the pool and the cabana and the kitchen out here, we have a lot of hardscape. And I really like the idea of softening that space out there.
A priority was a playscape. At the time, their daughter Callie was an infant, but Diana's design anticipated the current escapades. She also earmarked room for a greenhouse, a recent addition that fills up in winter. Between the two, she made her cutting garden. Another priority was organic vegetables.
I knew that the first thing I wanted to put in was a vegetable garden, because I think there's nothing better than fresh homegrown tomatoes and squash and all the wonderful vegetables we can grow here.
For beauty with function, she built a winding path. Its granite seams are natural habitats for Texas tough visions of England.
I trek back to the vegetable garden and the greenhouse a lot, and I would wear a path that way anyway. But I like the idea of softening it and creating something that's pretty and textured and colorful out into the grass. Just makes it a little more interesting.
In the side yard, she beautifully handled another function.
When we get those occasional heavy rains here in central Texas, the water comes from my neighbor's yard and comes down the driveway and comes down the front walkway and goes right in front of the front door of the house and right in front of the garage. So after, a year or so of stepping in puddles to get into my own house, I decided we needed to do something about it. So we had some French drains put in, and we did the river rock bed walkway along the side of the house to help with that.
As Diana tackles one area after another, her son Dustin often jumps in to lend a hand or a new idea. In front, Diana's options for color and standout foliage face a caveat.
The challenge in gardening with deer is that there are some deer-resistant plants, but there are no deer-proof plants. In years like we've had these last few summers where we have such a terrible drought and such terrible heat, they're starving, and they will eat just about anything.
Finding the compromise is important to her because this garden is about sharing. And along with plants that attract other wildlife, Diana wants a front yard that invites people to enjoy it.
I want them to see layers and levels of plantings and things that are interesting, different textures that play off of each other and color combinations that work really well together.
Her blog, Sharing Nature's Garden, started over Jeff's suggestion at the breakfast table.
About 2 weeks after he made the suggestion, I decided to try, and I sat with my laptop late into the night trying to figure out Blogger and all the rules, and set it up myself and have been loving it ever since. It's given me an opportunity to meet another entire world of gardeners who share my passion for gardening, and it's a great opportunity to share ideas and to learn from each other.
But it's also a chance for other gardeners to learn from her, including her wisdom that a garden is not all about work, but taking some time to have fun in it.
We spend a lot of time here. I spend a lot of time pruning and picking and digging, but I try to remember to just enjoy it too. Sometimes that's hard for gardeners. I found a lot of my friends as well. It's hard to be outdoors in your space and just sit. So I've made a concerted effort to do that. But we come out here and we swim, and my husband cooks in the kitchen, and we have family over, and just a few hours at a time. It doesn't even have to be an occasion. We just like to come out here and enjoy being outdoors.